Hello, everybody. I hope you remember our morning song that we sang a while back. Morning is come, night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. And then we sang it with singing it in our head and just doing the motions of morning is come, night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. Morning has come, night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. Morning has come, night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. Morning is come, night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. So all I was doing now is just keeping a steady beat and trying it on different timbres, moving from the kitchen into the garage and beating on trash cans, paint tubes, and buckets. So you might try some different timbres for your steady beats. If you don't have a conga drum around your house, maybe you can get something that you could play beats and rhythms on, preferably not your little brother. I have a chart about a disappearing beat game. I hope you can see this. And you won't really need it when we do the game, but this will just help you visualize it. So the first thing we do is do 8 sounds on the beat. The next one is 7 sounds and a rest. 6, rest, rest. 5, rest, 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 and so on. We just keep disappearing. We always have 8, but it becomes a rest. As when we get to the bottom, it becomes all rests. So I'm going to do this on my bass drum, otherwise known as a 34-gallon trash can. All right. You might use drumsticks if you have drumsticks. If you have some wooden spoons, something around the house that you can play with. Or your hands work fine too. We're going to use hands in a little bit for another game. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the beat was still in groups of 8. We were just making sounds on some and rests on the others. Now, when you get that pattern down and you want to try it on other things, you could even play instead of a rest, play the other beats on another timbre, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. And the reason I kept going on those rests is once you get that really down, and you can do that without counting out loud, then you can do it with somebody in your family, and you start with 8 beats of sound, and somebody else starts from the bottom and starts with 8 rests. And then you'll pass each other somewhere in the middle, and it will be really fun to keep that going, and you'll have a whole pattern. All you're doing is just counting in your mind steady beats. So that's a beat game, and we are going to now play some rhythms. And so we know that the beat is what your heart says, and the rhythm is what the words sound like. Short and long sounds that fit on the beat. And we're going to use a form called call and response. And this was a form that was used a lot in work songs. It's not an echo. A call and response is this. The caller sings one thing, and the people that respond always respond the same thing. They don't get to copy what the caller says. They just have a response that is always the same. So I brought John the rabbit. Who is asleep in his hutch. And his response is this. Oh, yes. That's all he gets to say. That's all you get to say is, oh, yes. Oh, yes. So here we go. Old John the rabbit, oh, yes. Old John the rabbit, oh, yes. Had a mighty bad habit, oh, yes. Of going in my garden, oh, yes. He ate tomatoes, oh, yes. And sweet potatoes, oh, yes. And if I live, oh, yes, to see next fall, oh, yes, then I won't plant, oh, yes, a garden at all. Oh, no. Did you say, oh, no? John the rabbit changed that. That is call and response. And even though I sang both parts, the response and the caller are different people. So you might try that. But I was showing you the call and response because here is a rhythm game that you could play with your different timbres of drums. I'm going to put John back in his hutch. And I'm going to use my drumsticks. So we'll use a call and response of Old MacDonald Had a Farm. So the caller is going to say, Old MacDonald had a farm, but the responder just says E-I-E-I-O and tries to play it the way the caller played. So if I went, this is the caller, this is going to be the response. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On the rim, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And Old MacDonald had a farm. Another one we could do is London Bridge is falling down. So here's the caller, here's the responder. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down. Once you get good at that, you don't say the words. So if you want to be the caller and have someone else respond to you, they have to figure out which one you played. Old MacDonald Had a Farm or London Bridge is Falling Down. Now, this rhyme is for using bass tones and open tones on your drum. If you don't have a conga drum around and you're going to use one of the things like I have. So here's my poem. Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. Do you have any trouble these days figuring out what day it is? When I wake up, I always have to really think about it. And sometimes I'm wrong, and sometimes I'm right. Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks, they had to figure it out too. So here we go. Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. Let's say it together. Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. So on our drums, or our drum substitutes, we have two different kinds of tones. And I'm going to use my hands, as I said before, instead of drumsticks. So our open tone is going to be flat fingers. And the only thing you have to be sure of is that you bounce off like it's hot. Otherwise, you get a really dead sound. So we're going to bounce off. And we're going to play Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. We'll just play our rhyme with an open tone on the rim of your drum. Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. Why don't you practice that? Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. That's your open tone. I like this one. Bass tone, palm of your hand, in the middle of your drum, and you just bounce off. I think we'll play the macro beat, a slower beat. We'll do. Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. I'm getting a funny sound because it's on wood. So if you're going to put it on wood, you might want to put a little cushioning underneath it. All right. Now, I don't think you can see, but let's see if we can do this again. So we're going to play the ones that are red. We're going to use a bass tone. We'll just start with just doing the red ones, only on the red underlined words. So we have Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. Only my bass tones on my red. You got it? You know where they are? Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. That's in our memory bank. So now we'll play the others on the rim and play the underlined ones with our bass tone. Open here, bass here. Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. Said Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, tomorrow will be Monday. Then you could put, I just put some beans inside of a paint can. Here's my accompaniment. So somebody in your family, even a little one, could just keep a beat with a shaker. You don't have a maraca. You can make a shaker and be shaking the steady beat while you play that. You can also do a canon. I know how you love to play canons and sing canons. And your canon would start after the whole first phrase. So you would say, Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday. And then the next group would start. And if you find a lot of different kinds of sounds, that's when you can really, really hear that canon. So get some things from your kitchen, from your garage. Don't empty the trash out of your trash cans to play. But if you've got an empty one, play, make some sounds, have fun. And while you're playing, I hope that you take some time to enjoy things like the sunshine and your family, things that we sometimes are so busy that we don't get to appreciate. And sing, morning is come, night is away, rise with the sun and welcome the day. I miss you.